Bala Ruby, Assistant Professor in the Department of Economics. So students, in today's class, we are going to discuss about the monopoly competition. That is a monopolistic competition, not monopoly, monopolistic competition. See, these are the main features of monopolistic competition. First one is many buyers and many sellers in this monopolistic competition. So here number of buyers as well as number of sellers are more and they are producing differentiated product. See, in the case of perfect competition, they are producing homogeneous product because same product. But in this monopolistic competition, it is not like that. They are producing some differentiated product. Here also there is a possibility of some relatively free entry and free exit. Suppose if I want to enter into the market, there is no restriction. At the same time, I want to exit from the market also, there are no restriction. And each firm have a tiny monopoly because of the differentiation of the product. See, tiny means small. So here each and every firm, they are having small monopoly. How they have a monopoly power here? Because they are producing some differentiate products. So each and every firms are producing some different product. Therefore, here there is a possibility of having some small monopoly power by the firm. And the firm has some control over the price. See, whenever there is a possibility of monopoly, uh, because they are producing some different products, so they have a power or they have the control over the price. They can fix the price. So in the case of perfect competition, it is not like that. They are price takers. Whatever may be the market price, they have to accept. But in this monopolistic competition, also it is not like that because they have some small monopoly power here. Therefore, they can fix some different prices also. And the main important feature in this monopolistic competition is selling cost. See, selling cost in the sense the main example is advertising cost, because when we want to sell our commodity, we have to spend some amount of money as a advertisement expenses. So selling cost is the main feature of this monopolistic competition. Then in this monopolistic competition also there is a equilibrium condition. Next we will discuss about the equilibrium of the firm. See, the equilibrium condition remains the same, that is MC is equal to MR. This is the equilibrium condition. Now we are going to clearly discuss about the equilibrium firm. See, the first possibility is profit. Sometimes I told you there is a possibility of getting some abnormal profit. So in this diagram, just you draw average revenue curve as well as marginal revenue curve. See, in the case of perfect competition, I told you the average revenue curve and marginal revenue curve should be a horizontal straight line. But in this monopolistic competition, it is not like that. Always the average revenue curve and marginal revenue curve is a downward sloping curve. And one more thing is average revenue curve is higher than the marginal revenue curve. So marginal revenue curve should be lower and average revenue curve should be higher. In such a way, you have to draw this diagram. So first you draw the average revenue curve. Then you draw this marginal revenue curve. It should be lower than the average revenue curve. Then you draw the average cost curve. See, this is a short run average cost curve. See, the shape of this average cost curve is always U shape only. So when you draw this average revenue curve, the average revenue should be lower than this average cost should be lower. Here, when you draw this diagram, you have to be very careful. Average cost should be lower than the average revenue, because then only we can show the profit. Listen very carefully. Average revenue is higher than the average cost, then only the firm can earn more profit amount. Then you draw this marginal cost curve. When you draw this marginal cost curve always passes through the minimum point of the average cost curve. So through this minimum point of the average cost curve, you draw this marginal cost. Then you identify the equilibrium point. What is the equilibrium condition? MC is equal to MR. So this is the MC curve. Listen very carefully. This cursor you can see, this is the MC curve and this is the MR curve. Both these points intersect in this point, that is T point. Now from this T point, just you draw a perpendicular line to the x-axis and you extend this line up to average revenue curve. Now the average revenue is OP. Listen very carefully. Average revenue is OP. Average cost is OT. So average revenue is higher, average cost is lower. So if you see this total revenue, that is OMPP dash. And if you see this total cost, you see total cost in the sense the total area below this average cost curve. So OMTT dash, this is the total cost. So the remaining portion, that is T dash T PP dash, this portion is known as abnormal profit. So in this diagram, we have a clear idea about the profit of the firm. So first we draw the average revenue curve, then you draw the marginal revenue. It should be lower than the average revenue. Then you draw this average cost curve. The shape is U-shaped cost curve. And the important thing is average cost curve should be lower than the average revenue. Then you draw this marginal cost curve. Marginal cost curve should passes through the minimum point of the average cost curve. Now you identify this equilibrium point when MC is equal to MR. So marginal revenue curve and marginal cost curve intersect at this point. So this is the equilibrium point. So you draw a perpendicular line to x-axis and you extend this line up to average revenue curve. So OP dash is the average revenue, OT dash is the average cost. So the profit is T dash T P P dash. Then you come to the next possibility, that is normal profit. See, like our perfect competition, here also there is a possibility of earning some normal profit. See, first you draw this average revenue curve, then you draw the marginal revenue curve. See, always in the monopolistic competition, the line is a downward sloping line only. Both the average revenue and marginal revenue curve are downward sloping curve. Then you draw this average cost curve. It is a U-shaped cost curve. Then you draw this marginal cost curve. It passes through the minimum point of the average cost curve. Now you identify the equilibrium point. See, when MC is equal to MR, that is the equilibrium point. So here MC curve is here, MR curve is here. So this is the equilibrium point. Then from this equilibrium point, just you draw a perpendicular line to the x-axis and you extend this line up to average cost curve. So this line intersects the average cost curve as well as average revenue curve in the same place. So here average cost also OP1, average revenue also OP1. So OP1 minus OP1, that is equal to 0. So average revenue is equal to the average cost. Therefore, there is no profit, no loss. Then come to the third possibility. Third possibility is sometimes there is a possibility of incurring some loss also. So first you draw this average revenue and marginal revenue. It is a downward sloping curve. Average revenue curve should be higher, marginal revenue curve should be lower. Then you draw this average cost curve. This is the U-shaped cost curve and it should be higher than the average revenue curve. Then you draw this marginal cost curve. It passes through the minimum point of the average cost curve. Then you identify the equilibrium point. See here, this is the MC curve, this is the MR curve. Both these curve intersect at this point. So this is the equilibrium point Z. Now from this equilibrium point, just you draw a perpendicular line to the x-axis and you extend this perpendicular line up to average cost curve. So here average cost is OE, average revenue is OF. So the remaining portion, that is FTME1. This is the possibility of incurring losses. So these are the main aspects in the monopolistic competition. Thank you, students.